Good evening, everyone. I'm back again, and this time I'm going to discuss again a very important topic with you guys: inborn errors of metabolism. Whatever exam you take, whether it is NEET PG, whether it is if you are preparing for your PGI exam, whether you are preparing for your MCI exam, inborn errors of metabolism is that topic on which generally a question is asked. So let's start up with the discussion. Now see, first of all, you should know what do you mean by the inborn error of metabolism. What is the transmission of a particular disease, right? So let's discuss. First is pentosuria. Now, suria means urine. Pentose means which has 5 carbon atom. So pentosuria means excretion of sugar which has 5 carbon atoms. Now always remember, the questions which are asked in the exam are, what is the deficient enzyme? These are the questions. Deficient enzyme, the mode of inheritance of a disease, and what are the biochemical manifestations of a particular disorder. Right? And again, a clear-cut question is asked. Now, pentosuria is actually a disease of the uronic acid pathway. Now, all of you know that this uronic acid pathway is an alternative method of oxidation of glucose. Now, since it is an alternative method, which means why it is operative in the body, because it is going to give rise to certain intermediates or byproducts which are required by a body. So that is what exactly happens. Uronic acid pathway is required for the synthesis of glucouronic acid, which is a very, very important detoxifying agent in our body. One example I'll quote, the functions of glucouronic acid in the degradation of heme, or in the synthesis of, you can say, stracobilinogen and urobilinogen, right? Now, uronic acid pathway is an alternative method. Basically, in non-primates, it leads to the synthesis of vitamin C. But in human beings, due to the deficiency of one enzyme, L-gulonolactone oxidase, it is not synthesized and it has to be supplemented from outside diet. Now see, in the next slide, I'm going to explain this uronic acid pathway. The question which is asked in the exam is, what is the defective enzyme in pentosuria? So that is L-xylitol dehydrogenase. When this enzyme is absent, obviously the concentration of xylulose will increase in the blood and it will be excreted in urine, leading to characteristic pentosuria. Now see, this is uronic acid pathway. Now here you can see, once this L-gulononic acid is produced, this L-gulononic acid in non-primates forms ascorbic acid, but human beings lack this enzyme, block in primates. L-gulonolactone oxidase. So ascorbic acid or vitamin C is not synthesized. Now in the primates, what reaction is occurring? This L-gulonic acid forms, you can see, xylulose, and this xylulose undergoes reduction forming xylitol, and this xylitol forms xylulose 5-phosphate, which enters PPP or pentose phosphate pathway or HMP shunt. Now see, in pentosuria, what happens is this enzyme is absent. Now suppose if this enzyme is absent, this reaction won't take place. So there will be accumulation and excretion of xylulose in urine. So 2 points I've told you, very, very important about vitamin C or uronic acid pathway. One is uronic acid pathway is an alternative method of oxidation of glucose. Then second, it helps in the formation of glucouronic acid in our body, and it helps in because ascorbic acid is not produced. So it is metabolized here, it links itself to PPP, taking xylulose as one of the intermediate. right? Then second inborn error of metabolism is Norham's disease. Now all of us know that cholesterol is an animal sterol. Animal sterol means it is soluble in water. So when we have to transport it, it requires to be esterified. And how its esterification occurs, it's a very important reaction. This cholesterol binds with lecithin. Lecithin is a very important phospholipid, forming cholesterol ester plus lysolecithin. The name of the enzyme here is LCAT, which stands for lecithin cholesterol acyl transferase. So if this enzyme is absent, leads to hypercholesterolemia and decreased concentration of cholesterol ester, and it is known as Norham's disease. There are two enzymes which catalyze the esterification of cholesterol. One is LCAT, other is ACAT. There is a difference. All of you must be knowing what is the difference in LCAT and ACAT. One is in the plasma and one is in the tissues. And this LCAT is also responsible for the reverse cholesterol transport along with HDL. Very, very important again. But here the question is, the inborn error is Norham's disease, which is actually LCAT deficiency. So no cholesterol esterification is there, increase in the concentration of cholesterol but obvious, and decrease in the concentration of lysolecithin and cholesterol ester. Then third disorder, a very, very important, whatever disorders I am discussing, they have been again asked in previous year question papers, and I have actually taken them from the previous year question papers only. Then comes Refsum's disease. This Refsum's disease is due to, it is actually related to alpha oxidation of fatty acids. All of us know, if we define a fatty acid is CH2, CH2, C double bond O, OH. This is alpha carbon atom, this is beta carbon atom. Obviously, if the oxidation is along beta carbon atom, it will be beta oxidation. If the oxidation is along alpha carbon atom, it will be alpha oxidation. So, phytanic acid, which is present in chlorophyll or in green leaves, we can say, it has to undergo obviously alpha oxidation. What happens is, if this enzyme is absent, alpha phytate oxidase, it will lead to accumulation of phytanic acid, leading to Refsum's disease. And the person who is suffering from Refsum's disease cannot digest green leafy vegetables because they are rich in chlorophyll, and this enzyme is defective, so there will be accumulation of phytanic acid residues in that. Again, a very important disorder. Then comes cystinuria. Cystinuria is also known as, actually basically what happens is, you can see there is increased concentration of cystine, which leads to the formation of stones. Now what happens is, there is actually defective tubular reabsorption. You can see the major cause which is leading this cystinuria is defective transport of the carrier of the amino acids. So what happens is, it is, what is the molecular basis of this? There is mutation in SLC3A1 and SLC7A9. This question was asked in All India. Very important. And there is excretion of 4 amino acids in urine, COLA, also known as cola, or in some books it is written as coal. This is a mnemonic to learn it. Cysteine, ornithine, lysine, and arginine. So cystinuria is due to the defect in the transport of the carrier of these amino acids. So obviously when there is defective absorption, it will lead to accumulation and increase in the concentration, leading to the release of these 4 amino acids in urine. Then homocystinuria, again a very, very important disease. Homocystinuria is due to the deficiency of cystathionine beta synthase enzyme. Basically what happens is there is osteoporosis, weak bone density is there, leading to hepatomegaly, and it is also known as leads to Charlie Chaplin gait. Basically what happens is this homocysteine, all of us know homocysteine, it is actually from methionine. If we see the structural difference, homocysteine, if we add a methyl group into it, it will be converted into methionine, or methionine, if we take out that methyl group, it will be known as homocysteine. This homocysteine actually forms cystathionine in the presence of enzyme cystathionine beta synthase. For this reaction, PLP is required. So once the cystathionine is produced, it splits up in the presence of lyase enzyme, which is also known as cystathionase, to form cysteine and alpha ketobutyrate. Now, if this enzyme is absent, there is increased concentration of homocysteine, leading to homocystinuria. And this homocysteine is an indicator of MI also. Estimation of homocysteine is carried out in MI. So the person suffering from homocystinuria along with these hepatomegaly and osteoporosis can lead to MI or stroke. Right. So this is again very important. This question has been asked in the exam also. And one more important thing I'm going to tell you here is conversion of homocysteine to methionine requires 2 vitamins, very, very important. B9, which is folic acid, and B12, which is also known as folate trap. Very important. And the active form of methionine is SAM. Now see, by this one particular slide, I have mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4 important points to you, which are actually very, very important. One is methionine, the active form of methionine is SAM, S-adenosyl methionine. Second is methionine, when it's donate its methyl group, it is converted into homocysteine. Third is homocystinuria is caused due to the deficiency of enzyme cystathionine beta synthase, PLP is required. And fourth is homocysteine is considered to be a marker of MI. Right? Then next we come over to hereditary fructose intolerance. Very important, very frequently asked question. The enzyme which is defective is aldolase B. Basically what happens is, for understanding this disorder, you should know the metabolism of fructose. Now see, if we compare the absorption of glucose and fructose, fructose is actually transported by facilitated diffusion. Now fructose being a sugar, being soluble in water, it has to be immediately phosphorylated. The enzyme required is fructokinase, and it forms fructose 1-phosphate. This fructose 1-phosphate undergoes splitting in the presence of aldolase B. Aldolase B is present in the liver and the intestine. Very important enzyme. One is aldolase A. Aldolase A is the enzyme of glycolysis, where the substrate is, and it is present in all the tissues because glycolysis is occurring in all the tissues. The substrate is different. If you remember, in aldolase A, the substrate was fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Here it is fructose 1-phosphate. Simple splitting takes place, and it forms dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glycerolaldehyd. Glyceraldehyde undergoes phosphorylation. DHAP directly goes into glycolysis. If it undergoes hydrosylation, this will be 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde. After phosphorylation, it will also merge into glycolysis. Now, deficiency of this enzyme will lead to accumulation of fructose 1-phosphate, accumulation of fructose, right, leading to fructosemia. And this leads to hereditary fructose intolerance. Deficiency of fructokinase leads to fructosemia. So obviously what happens is, once this fructose 1-phosphate is produced, it is allosterically inhibiting liver phosphorylase. And liver phosphorylase means glycogen phosphorylase enzyme is being inhibited, thereby blocking glycogenolysis. If glycogenolysis is decreased or it is not occurring, it will lead to severe hypoglycemia, means no glucose will be there, leading to hepatic failure. Very important. And this is a very important question. This has been asked in the exam so many times. Again, question will be direct. Hereditary fructose intolerance is due to the which enzyme is defective in this? You have to simply write aldolase B. Now, why I'm writing this? Because students generally get confused between aldolase B and aldolase A. Always remember, aldolase B is the enzyme which is defective. I am telling you again and again, it's not aldolase A. Right? Then next we come over to maple syrup urine disease. All of you know about this. All of you must have rattled. This is the disease due to the branch chain amino acids. Now these branch chain amino acids are what? They are leucine, or they are valine and isoleucine. Deficiency of keto acid decarboxylase leads to accumulation of these branch chain amino acids. And what happens is, this urine starts giving the smell of burnt sugar. That is why it is known as maple syrup urine disease. Very important. One more disorder here is there, isovaleric acidemia. This isovaleric acidemia is due to the deficiency of isovalerate dehydrogenase. Sweaty feet odor is there in urine, right? The next, again, a most frequently asked question, L-captonuria. Urea, as I said, it comes from urine. Formation of L-capton type of substance in urine. And this is a, you can say, defect in the metabolism of tyrosine. Before taking up this, see, this is the reaction. You know, once tyrosine is required for the synthesis of melanin, it is required for the synthesis of catecholamines. Tyrosine is degraded also, because tyrosine is synthesized from phenylalanine, and we call phenylalanine as glucogenic as well as ketogenic amino acid. So here you can see that homogenistic acid is being produced, which in the presence of homogenistate, oxidase forms melyl acetoacetate. Now, if this enzyme is absent, obviously there will be increased concentration of homogenistic acid. And this homogenistic acid will lead to, there will be excretion of homogenistic acid in urine, and this urine turns black on exposure to air. Or it forms L-capton type of substances. Or you can say it forms quinino type of substances. And there is accumulation of these in the joints. The quinino crystals appears in the joints, leading to arthritis also. Or it is also known as ochronosis. Very, very important. Formation of L-capton type of substance, and the deficient enzyme is homogenistic acid oxidase. Then albinism. Just now I told you that tyrosine is required for the synthesis of melanin, the skin pigment. This child is suffering from albinism. And you can see there is defect in melanocytes of eyes and skin. And the enzyme deficient is tyrosinase, very important again. And here you can see this is how this tyrosine forms dopamine, and you can see melanin is produced, and the enzyme is tyrosinase. Deficiency of this leads to defective synthesis of melanin in our body, leading to albinism. Then we come over to orotic aciduria. Orotic aciduria, again, it means excretion of orotic acid in urine. What is this orotic acid? This is synthesized. This is actually, you can say, produced as an intermediate when pyrimidines are being produced. Or orotic acid is required for the synthesis of first pyrimidine, which is UMP. You can see carbamoyl aspartate, dihydroorotate, orotic acid, and here this orotate decarboxylase forms this UMP. Deficiency of orotate decarboxylase leads to accumulation of this orotate, or leading to orotic aciduria. This is also connected with urea cycle. Why urea cycle? Because you know enzyme required here is CPS2, and in urea cycle it was CPS1. Right? So this is all about some of the inborn errors of metabolism. Always remember, you have to learn what basically the deficient enzymes. So the way I have taught you, you can make your notes also. In my next video, I am going to discuss some other inborn errors of metabolism. So circulate my channel among your friends. Those friends who have not seen my other videos, they can always subscribe to my channel and they can see more videos. And in the future also, I'm going to bring in more and more of, new concepts, new questions, new discussions of biochemistry. Till then, take care. Good night.